Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Boston. We are here live this morning in Medford, and I am grateful to be sitting here with some new people. We have new friends in front of me, and I am so happy to have you here. Thank you. And I know that there are people online as well, and thank you for being here. Wherever you are in the world, there is only one, and I'm so grateful you're here with us. And so you know who we are. This is our vision. So you know who CSL Greater Boston is. Our vision is an inclusive community based on love and acceptance that is a healing presence for all through joyful connection, activities, and education. Our mission is a spiritual community that's lovingly embraces all races, ages, and abilities, genders, and the celebration of diversity through the practice of science divine teachings and principles for the betterment of each individual and the oneness of all. And our purpose is to bring about positive change within individuals and the world by teaching and embodying the science of mind teaching and principles and carrying them throughout the world. And we actually had just revised these, and that's why I want to make sure that we have them out there. So we're claiming and knowing exactly who we are, whose we are, and making waves in the world. Today, our topic is an exciting one. It is a fun one. It is inquiring minds want to flow. And what does that mean? But being in the flow. It's being in that flow of spirit, allowing the spirit to guide, govern, and just going with the flow. It is so much easier to know that we are in that stream of not just consciousness, but there is divine help, there is abundance all around us, flowing in that ease and grace. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about really being in that place of allowing the flow in our lives, not feeling like we're struggling or just getting by, like everything has to be difficult, but simply allowing that flow in every aspect of life to live who we're meant to be and how we're meant to be. So we're going to start with song, as we often do. I absolutely love music. And the first song we're going to sing is by Daniel Nahmon, Get Ready, My Soul.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
So as we dive in a little deeper, this month our theme is actually curiosity as a superpower. That's the CSL theme for the month. And when you think about diving in a little deeper, what does that mean? Who am I? What do I really want? Those are the two questions as a life coach that I've been the past 15 years that I start with. Who are you really? And what do you really want? And it sounds simple. To me, it sounds simple to say that. But really knowing who and whose you are can take a lifetime. It takes really asking, who am I, what am I here for? I believe every person is like a puzzle piece. And you see those big, huge, 1,000-piece puzzles. And each one has its own colors, shapes, eyes. Each one has a place. And you can't have a duplicate or there'd be no puzzle. There's no picture. It doesn't work out that way. And the whole, to me, striving to know ourselves allows us to find peace with our peace. Doesn't matter if we're a corner. It doesn't matter if we have bright colors or darker colors. It doesn't matter if one's bigger than smaller. It doesn't matter. If one piece is missing, the puzzle's lost. Spirit makes us that perfect. Do we really know our peace? And when we do know that we're part of this big, huge mosaic of life, do we recognize ourselves as that life? So when we get curious and we ask these questions and we go deeper as a superpower, it gives us the opportunity to live differently. So as we go in today in living in the flow, inquiring minds want to flow. What stops us from that? What stops us from being in the flow and asking those questions and being in the excitement of life? And we'll talk a little bit more about that and learning how to recognize that, wait a minute, I'm stuck again. Especially in this society, I don't know about you, but I am so easily distracted. A friend of mine says, squirrel, yep. It's like all of a sudden something goes by and you're like, oh, squirrel, and I can be distracted into something else. it's so easy with, when we're working online, or when there's all these little, emails, or the phone rings, or something happens, and it's so easy to get out of the flow. So it's learning how to recognize and just go right back into it. So today we're going to start. We've got our beautiful practitioner from Barbados coming to share with us our invocation and praying us in, as well as a reading for today. So thank you, Sonia, who is also actually the director of a teaching chapter that's just started in Barbados. So welcome, Sonia. Thank you for being here with us.
Good morning, CSL Greater Boston, and all those who are joining us from wherever you are. I'm going to invite you to just get silent, calm the mind, allow your heart to become still for just a few minutes as I open us up in prayer. Recognizing that God is all there is, God is absolute love. God is the love that exists everywhere on this planet, in all of its creation. And just as God is love, I too am love. And I'm knowing for each and every one present here that you too are love. And so I speak my word love, knowing that each and every one present here today is in that divine flow of love, sharing love and expressing love. And so I affirm that love is all there is. Love is the ultimate vibration that keeps everything together. And and as each and every one of us, right here and right now, flows in that abundance of love, experiences that abundance of love, I am knowing, I am in this moment knowing that we are love. And because we are love, we express love, we give love, we flow in that love harmoniously. And so I give thanks for the love that is. And I release this word knowing that love is everywhere, expressing in this moment, right here and right now. And so it is.
So it is.
So now I invite you to listen to me read from our text, the Sense of Mind text. And I'm reading from page 72 to page 73, The Greatest Discovery. Sorry, that's the first great discovery. The first great discovery man made was that he could think. This was the day when he first said, I am. This marked his first day of personal attainment. From that day, man became an individual and had to make all further progress himself. From that day, there was no compulsory evolution. He had to work in conscious union with life. The basis from which man is evolving is infinite. Behind him is the great unknown, but not the great unknowable. As the result of the discovery that he could think, plan, and execute, man has built up a great civilization. He has perceived that nature works through him in order to work for him. He has harnessed electricity, compelled steam to do his bidding, conquered the air, built cities, made the desert to bloom, and has thrown the lines of his commerce around the globe. Indeed, he has seemed to possess the earth during his process, even though little attention has been given to that still small voice which said, "Man, know thyself." Man's first discovery of his ability to think was taken as a matter of fact. He had always been able to think. It was proof that he existed. It gave him the ability to know his needs and to supply them. It appeared to be an automatic thing. It came with him and would doubtless die when he died. The brain seems to be the organ of thought, and of course, when death stilled the brain, it could no longer operate. However, a day came when some wise man claimed that it is not the brain that does the thinking. For if the brain could think, it would keep on thinking when removed from the body. Yet, without a brain, a man could not think, which proved that something behind the brain used it as an instrument. Man does not think, so behind the brain, there must be a thinker. And where is the thinker? We do not see him. Have we a right to say there is a thinker when we have never seen him? Yes, for the proof of this reality is the evidence of his thought. Back of the organism is the thinker and the doer, the mind. This was the greatest discovery of all time, for it meant that the body without the thinker could not function. At first, man did not perceive this and thought only of his body as self-operating. But when he discovered this was not the case, he found that he could consciously think and decide, and that something happened to his thoughts after he thought them. They went somewhere and returned to him as memory. That's the end of my reading for today. Thank you so much for listening.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Sonia, for being here.
You're most welcome, Reverend.
So the thinker and the doer. Do we often think about that? Do we realize that there's two aspects of us? And actually, there's two different ones. I'm not muted. Actually, there's two different lines. Thank you for the heads up, though. We have a part of us that is untouchable. There's that spark within us that can never be changed. That soul, who we really are, who we're born with, all those divine attributes. Do we recognize it? Do we live from it? And that's where the curiosity comes in. How do I connect with it? So our song, before we get started officially, I'm going to play is "I'm Already Enough." And that is actually what that's about. It's really coming to that place of understanding that, yes, I was born with this. I have everything that I need. I am already enough.
I was searching, I was looking for meaning. I was wondering, desperately trying only to see I have nothing missing. Who said I have to find who I am? Who said that I am lost to begin with? I am already enough. Everything I need is within me. Each morning when I wake up, I'm grateful for the beauty around me. Life motivation can't be validation. I'd always be starving for more affection, the wrong attention, only to feel like I am nothing. Who said I have to find who I am? Who said that I am lost to begin with? I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. Each morning when I wake up, I'm grateful for the beauty around me. Life is a gift, I wanna enjoy it. Always proving my worth only destroys it. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. Oh yeah. I have nothing to find and everything to feel. Only I can define what is meaningful to me. Even when I am feeling so breakable, I tell myself to believe I am valuable. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. Each morning when I wake up, I'm grateful for the beauty around me. Yeah. Life is a gift, I wanna enjoy it. Always proving my worth only destroys it. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. Each morning when I wake up, I'm grateful for the beauty around me. Yeah. Life is a gift, I wanna enjoy it. Always proving my worth only destroys it. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me.
Yes, we are already enough. We're born that way. If you had any question, look at a baby that you love, whether it's your own child, a niece, a nephew, or any infant. When you look at that child, you see the infinite possibility. You see the wonder. At 2, 3 years old, they ask a million questions. And you see that they can be anything, they can do anything. And you know that. That's you. However many years ago it was, it didn't change who and what you were. You're just a bit older, wiser. You learn more along the way. But all that potential is still within each one. There's a Hindu legend that I love that goes with this so well. There was once a time when all human beings were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take away from them and hide it where it could never be found. Where to hide their divinity was the question, so Brahma called the council of the gods to help them decide. Let's bury it deep within the earth, said the gods. But Brahma answered, no, that will not do because the humans will dig into the earth to find it. Then the god said, let's sink it in the deepest ocean. But Brahma said, no, not there, for they will learn to dive into the ocean and we'll find it. Then the god said, let's take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there. But once again, Brahma replied, no, that will not do either, because they will eventually climb every mountain and once again take up their divinity. Then the gods gave up and said, we do not know where to hide it, because it seems that there is no place on earth or in the sea that human beings will not eventually reach. Brahma thought for a long time and said, here's what we'll do. We'll hide their divinity deep in the center of their own being. For humans will never think to look for it there. All the gods agreed with this. This was the perfect hiding space, and the deed was done. And since that time, humans have been going up and down the earth, digging, diving, climbing, and exploring, searching for something already within themselves. You know, that story is so symbolic. And to me, also sad and tragic in a way that we had it all along. You know, isn't that who Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz? You know, she had it all along. There was no place like home. It was already there, but she didn't see it. So we go on this quest, this hero's journey to find what we think we need to be, do, have. And that's not necessarily the answer. You know, unfortunately, we go through all of this. And the question is, are we living the way we choose to? Joseph Campbell said, the journey of the hero is about the courage to seek the depths, the image of creative rebirth, the eternal cycle of change within us, the uncanny discovery that the seeker is the mystery which the seeker seeks to know. Think about that. The seeker is the mystery which the seeker seeks to know. So you already are it. If you have the ability to love, then you are love. If you can do it sometimes, then you can do it all the time. Doesn't that make sense? If you have the ability to love at all, you have to always have that ability. It's not sometimes. You don't sometimes know how to tie your shoe. You know it or you don't know it. You are love. Therefore, you can love when you choose to love. Now, there are times we shut ourselves off from it for a variety of reasons. There's times that we say, okay, we think we need a wall between, or someone's hurt us and we think that, you know, it's not safe, or the world isn't a safe place, or whatever it is, lies that have been told us, whether it's from our family that mean well, but their experience taught them something, whether it's our own personal experience that we loved and they have seemingly lost, therefore, you know, why would I do it again? Whatever the reasons, there's fear there, and we get a choice to decide, do I want to be limited by this fear, or do I choose to live differently? See, there's parts of you that are meant to be lived out loud. You have a whole self brimming and ready. There's a purpose within you. And some people, when they're living that purpose, you see it. You see it so clearly. You know, Mother Teresa, she really didn't have exceptional qualities in the sense of she wasn't a brilliant mind. She didn't have, you know, she didn't have any kind of skills that we would look at today in today's world and say, oh, that's marketable. She walked into Calcutta with two hands and a heart. She had a greater capacity of understanding her love. She was connected to the same source. And she was hurt every time one of those amazing people died in her arms. She was hurt again and again and again. She felt that. But she saw her superpower, her purpose was to be love. And she did it in such a way that we know her and we remember her. That amazingly, she just was love. And if you read her memoirs, if you actually read, they actually put out her, it was almost a tortured soul. You would never have known it. But this sad and really lonely woman loved so much. That depth is within each of us in different ways. What are you here to do? When we find our glow, we find our flow. When you love what you do, the day goes by so quickly. It's so easy, right? And think about it when you're There's days you may have the house to clean, you think, oh, I got to get to this, this, and this. And then there's days you just fly through it and you're like, I did so much today. And it feels easy. And then there's other days that you're like, I did two things, and it's like, well, because we're not in the flow. When we are in the flow, doing what we're meant to be, life feels different. Life is living through us in amazing ways. There's no limit to that ability. If we can be peaceful sometimes, we can be peaceful anytime. It's hard to, when you think about it, well, how could you? Even in the eye of a hurricane, in the eye of a tornado, there's an eye of a storm where there's peace. It doesn't matter what's going on the outside. The inside is still. That's why they say be still and know. But are we living that way? Are we living in a place that we understand that, yes, I am this. I am, whether it's an artist, whether it's a mathematician, whether it's whatever it may be, we are always in the flow of becoming who it is we're here to be if we allow ourselves, as long as we don't stop. That's the whole trick, is that we keep going, that we stay in that flow. And I love this quote by Michelle Obama. For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end. So we are here on this journey called life. And I believe it's kind of like on the highway. When you're in your lane, all is flowing well. But when we veer off a little, we hit that rumble strip. That rumble strip is our emotions. Are you happy? If you're not, that's telling you you're veering in the wrong direction. That's the rumble strip. So we go back to center. Sometimes we need help to get back to center. Sometimes we need people that know us better than we know ourselves. When I see a quality in you that I love, when I see whether it's a joy of living or whether it is, I see your kindness to people, or it could be your voice and your beautiful, the way that you give of yourself through a song that you sing. Whatever it may be that makes you you, there's something in that I recognize, which is why it's so impressive to me. That's why I see it, because I am it. It's the reflection of myself I'm seeing and I'm choosing, or we wouldn't be able to recognize it. We're all good at different things, but there's a spark. And when somebody's in the flow, when they're doing what they're meant to do, there's an art to it. That could be a carpenter, that could be a teacher, that could be any vocation. Sometimes it's not even our vocation. Sometimes maybe it's a volunteer program. Oftentimes people think, how do I change things? How do I change the world, right? There's a million ways but we are, this week, it's Valentine's Day is coming up, and love there's two words I love more than any other: love and joy. Those are my two words that just make me smile and make me feel. And we were speaking earlier, we were talking about how, when we feel something, that's when it happens. Thoughts are things. We can think about all kinds of things, but when we put that intention and we put that emotion, whether it's fear or excitement, it puts an emotion. So if I think I don't want something, I don't want that, all the universe hears is the excitement around that, and it attracts. Well, in the same way, when we're excited about something, it attracts. So to me, joy and love. So to me, Valentine's Day isn't about just being in a couple. It's being love and celebrating that love. Now, whether or not you're as a couple, or whether it's a friendship, or whether it's as a teacher to a student, or whether it's a child taking care of their parent or a parent caring for their children. There's so much love in the world, even just brothers and sisters that we are with each other in this oneness. It's love. And when we show up as that love, we're in the flow. Because I can't give you something without the universe giving me something back. It's the way it works. There's an ebb and there's a flow. So when I give it to you, I can't stop it from coming to me. And even more than that, it is spirit within me flowing it to you. I am being the hands, the heart, the voice of spirit in that moment. And I am filled with it to be able to give it to you. I can't give you something that I am not. So I can't show you kindness if there's not kindness within me. And in that, I am receiving because I'm feeling that emotion. I am a magnet of that emotion right then. So being in the flow is choosing, who do I choose to show up today as? How do I want to live? How do I allow that to show up in my life? And it's a becoming, it's a practice. It's not going to happen and all of a sudden, well, I've arrived. Wouldn't that be nice? You know, I watched something and it's on my Facebook page if you ever want to take a look at it. It was with the Dalai Lama, and it was just a snippet. And it was a millennial saying, well, you know, there's a lot of anxiety in young people today. And he's like, do you think, why do you think that is? That there's more anxiety than there used to be? And he said, if I thought to myself, I'm the Dalai Lama, look at what I can do, look who I am, and all I thought about was me, I would have anxiety around being that. When I think of only me, there's something in keeping that up. When I am trying to be somebody or something, instead of simply allowing it and being of service, being who I'm called to be. So when I show up as love, when I show up in and as peace, when I show up in service to someone else, the best of me shows up and I am filled because I am giving from my source. And that source brims up and fills me and fulfills me in a way that money can't, objects can't. It just can't be. So, and there's a lot of things that happen in the world that I don't understand. And I wish that they weren't that way. This week when I was watching, and I didn't watch a lot of it because my heart hurts with the earthquake, and Turkey and Syria. My heart hurts, and you think, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? And I loved this quote. Ram Dass said, what do we really have to offer? Everything, it turns out. Within each of us is that essence of being, which is in all things. Call it God, life, energy, consciousness. When we're helping another, they feel that they are not isolated beings. They feel us there with them, that we are in this together. How many times in your life have you had that feeling that I'm all alone here? Isn't there anyone that can, why doesn't anybody call me or reach out to me? Don't they see? And we're really good at hiding the pain. Some of us, some are, some aren't. No, I've got it, I'm okay. I know for me, learning how to ask for help, and it's little things like, I'm saying there's a cord behind me that I can't plug in. I'm 5'1", and it's a lot higher than that. It might be 5'6". But the point is it's out of my reach. And the old me would have figured out a way to climb, even if it put me in danger. And this morning, I said, I'm not playing around. I'm not going to worry about, is anybody going to get there early this night? I actually asked for help. And I asked one of my cousins to come in and help me set up. And no problem at all, no question, absolutely showed up and brought his brother. So now I got to see both of my cousins that I haven't seen in months over just asking for help. And they were thrilled to be here, and they even brought me coffee. And it may seem silly, but to me, that's the universe overflowing. The love that I give showering back upon me. And I can say thank you today without feeling guilty. Oh, I made them get up early. I made them, they inconvenienced. No, I love them. I asked, and they showed up in abundance. Now, if that happens, bringing me even coffee, if that happens, what else can happen in our lives? When we really use this in every aspect of our lives, what shows up? When I show up as my best self, whether you work in marketing, whether you work in, a daycare, whether you work as an artist, when you are in your flow of what you're meant to do, what can't happen? So it's learning how to allow spirit to express through you. Ernest Holmes said, in expressing more life, we are expressing a greater degree of infiniteness of spirit. We are more completely personifying it. This is the real purpose and meaning of existence. It is the nature of spirit to express through us, not in limitation or fear or want, but in freedom. In freedom. Are you experiencing that freedom? Are you living that best life now? You get to choose. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that because we listen to what's on the outside that's telling us we need to climb the tallest mountains. If I was supposed to fly, if I was supposed to jump out of a plane, I'd have wings. There's nothing in me that wants, and if that's your thing, that you love that kind of rush, good for you. But it's not my thing, and it doesn't have to be. There's enough of us that we're all supposed to be different. So what is my inner urge? You know what? For me, jumping out of a plane, that nervousness can be putting out a new book. Because when I write poetry, it is all my heart on a paper for people to see. There's a lot there. That's a different kind of fear in some ways, if I allow it to be. But there's other people that think like I do that might be helped by this. And if I keep it to myself, I'm not helping anyone else. And the gifts I have go untapped. So I show up to the best of my ability just for today. And that's all we do. Some days we do it better than others. I'm not going to lie. There was a day this week, all I did was stream. I was online and I just binge watched because I needed the day to me. And I had a great day. And it was a mindless great day. And that's okay too. But it helps me to be able to show up when I choose to. There's got to be a balance in life. What brings you joy? Not guilt, not fear, not shame, that is all man-made, that tells you what you would, could, should be in a bigger, better, faster, more society. It's really being present and feeling the presence, knowing that I am the beloved of the beloved. That infinite creator chose me, loves as me. What's more important than that? So in this week of Valentine's Day, I encourage you to be that love fearlessly. Show kindness in any and every way that you can. And it will come back to you. It has to. There's a give and there's a take. There's just the way that it works. There's an ebb, there's a flow. It has to come back just like the tides. Put it out there. Allow yourself to really live. We have a couple of things to do before then, but the last song, we have today is actually Come Alive, from The Greatest Showman. Come alive. What makes you feel alive? And if you don't know, reach out to someone. Whether that's a practitioner, whether that's a life coach, whether that's a friend that really knows you. What makes you come alive? Let's go there. Let's live there. Let's be that. As we walk into this week, fearlessly, joyously, let's live from that space. So thank you for being here for this message. And let's go to our affirmation. Our affirmation for this week, and I'm going to ask you to say it with me if you can. I achieve great things because I am the living embodiment of the universe. The greatness of God breathes in, through, and as me. Let's say that one more time. I achieve great things because I am the living embodiment of the universe. The greatness of God breathes in, through, and as me. And so it is. So we have a few announcements that I want to share. There's our law of circulation states that giving activates receiving. What we give out must come back. So we have PayPal accounts. There's actually a little butterfly up there for anybody that's here. That's our collection basket, and we have our PayPal account as well as we also have Venmo. So however it is, remember that we are able to do what we do because of what you help us do. So that is appreciated. And our sacred giving affirmation, if you can join in with me, is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Okay. And this week, actually, we are doing a different kind of visioning this week. We have it every Monday, and this is the link, and it is in our newsletter. It's also on our webpage. So you can go to our page, which is cslboston.org, or you can go to that's where you can go to sign up for our weekly newsletter. But we're going to be doing it's going to be doing a survey. We're going to be sending out a survey to ask, what is it that you want more of? What kind of classes do you want? What kind of, what is spiritual community to you? What do you want as part of this new opening? What is important to you? So we're kind of visioning and brainstorming around that this week. And of course, we're in person this week, once a month. It's always the second Sunday of every month. So it'll be a few weeks before we get there. But so this is our calendar. So March 12th is the next time we are in person. So please, if you're at home thinking I meant to get there, please remember that we are here and we are online every week. We have a workshop. This is actually Frank Mastoris is going to be doing. What you are seeking is seeking you. And that is so true. So who you're meant to be is meant to be, but it's also a spiritual practices, especially about treatment. So if you want more information about treatment and really how to use affirmative prayer in a different way, the laws of the universe in a different way, that's going to be March 5th, and that's via Zoom. We have a couple of other workshops coming up as well. The class Practical Mysticism that we're talking about didn't end up happening for a variety of reasons. We're going to make it a workshop. So it is going to be, we've got a couple of different workshops coming up. Practical Mysticism, I'll get the dates to you. That's going to be in April. And March 16th is going to be a goals workshop, setting goals and intentions. So really coming to that place of what do I really want and staying focused on it. And one of the things that we do, you can do to help stay focused on it. This is one of the results of our visioning that we've done, is really being in this place of celebrating who are we and who are we becoming? What's it going to look like? So there's all kinds of great stuff happening, and so grateful to everyone that's showing up for that. But also, this has been going amazing. If you haven't been to one, please join us. They've been so fun. There's such in-depth conversation. Sacred Circle at 7, it's spiritual conversation and beloved community. And it is every week is a different person leading. They're always spiritual leaders, whether it's practitioners or ministers. And every Thursday at 7 o'clock, it's via Zoom. And, every week is different people, different themes, different everything. But they've been so, it's not just spiritual, but they make you think. They give you that curiosity. to go a little deeper on whatever the topic may be. So if you're able to, we'd love for you to join us. And there are some people that, they can't get to on a Sunday or that's not their thing. It's great to be able to participate in a conversation. So if you get a chance, Sacred Circle at 7 on Thursdays. So we would love to have you. So a lot of stuff is happening and it's all fun and it's been a wonderful experience. Very grateful to the board that's been so supportive and helping along the way. There's a lot of good. It's up to us to not just find it, but recognize it and live in it. What we focus on is what comes. So I may not be able to fix what happened at that earthquake, but I can be part of the consciousness that does. I can be part of the consciousness that loves. Doing what I can when I can, not just with prayer, but if I can give, even if it's $20, it's something. See, the thing about our money is our time and our money are our two most precious resources. What are we spending them on? It shows what's important in your life. So start thinking about that because where attention goes, energy flows. What am I spending my time and my money on? And that tells me what's attracting to me and why it's attracting to me. So if I'm caught up in whatever the latest saga is, and all I do is keep spinning my wheels financially and mentally, if I'm looking for escapes instead of really living in who and what I am, it's going to stay that way. So we get choices. And that's what this is all about, is remembering being in the flow. When we find our glow, we're in the flow. When you're doing what you love, life is in that flow. And we are not feeling that rumble strip. We're in the flow. So let's look for that this week. And let's, as we always do, end in prayer. Just taking a breath and being right here, right now. Letting go of everything else. We call it treatment, we call it affirmative prayer. Just taking a breath and being. Letting go of the doing. And simply being. In that knowing that there is only one. One power, one presence, one love, one life. In, through, and as everything. The sun, the moon, the stars, the ocean, every animal, every child, every woman, every man, everything is spirit. For there is nowhere spirit is not. Letting go of our concept of time and space, knowing that this allness includes everything, including me. Each one present here in Medford today, each one online with us, watching at any time, each one in the all. But this oneness, this big mosaic of life, is perfect, whole, and complete. And I am that I am presence. I am that love, that joy, that peace, that harmony. I am that life, living, breathing, having my being as spirit. And as I know it of me, I know it of each one. And as I purposely love, love lifts me. For by being who and whose I truly am, it flows in amazing ways. I let it be easy. I let go of any fears, doubts, or worries. What if it's hard? Only keeps me stagnant. I step into the middle of the stream and flow with ease and grace and joy, knowing it is easy to be guided, guarded, and governed by spirit. I allow the universe to provide anything and everything that is needed for the highest good, for my highest good and the good of all. And right here and right now, I know that love is lifting any and everyone in me. whether that be from the earthquake, whether that be from war, whether that be from depression, grief, whatever seeming problem may be there, Spirit is greater, and the infinite abundance of the universe provides. So right here, right now, I allow that to be, that the tides of love lifts in amazing ways, and joy is the expression of this love, kindness, peace, right here and right now. So I set it forth knowing that it is done, filled with gratitude, love, joy, so grateful. I set it free into law knowing cannot come back void. So filled and overflowing, I say amen and blessed be. And together we say, and so it is. So I thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the celebration. Thank you for being the love, the light that you truly are. And I wish you a wonderful Valentine's Day and an absolutely wonderful week knowing who and whose you are. And as we listen to the final song, may you be in this place of coming alive. May your vocation be your joy. May your life be that perfect path that is meant for you. Letting it be easy, letting it flow. Namaste.
You stumble through your days, got your head hung low, your sky's a shade of gray, like a zombie in a maze. You're asleep inside, but you can't shake awake, 'cause you're just a dead man walking, thinking that you're only option. But you can flick the switch and brighten up your darkest day. Sun is up and the colors blinding. Take the world and redefine it. Leave behind your narrow mind. You'll never be the same. Come alive, come alive. Go and light your light. Let it burn so bright. Reaching up to the sky. And it's open wide. You're electrified. And the world becomes a fantasy. And you're more than you could ever be. 'Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And you know you can't go back again to the world that you were living in. 'Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. So come alive, I see it in your eyes. You believe that lie, that you need to hide your face. Afraid to step outside, so you lock the door. But don't you stay that way. No one living in those shadows. You and me, we know how that goes. 'Cause once you see it, oh, you'll never, never be the same. Little bit of lightning striking, but enough to keep on shining. You can prove there's more to you. You cannot be afraid. Come alive, come alive. Go and light your light. Let it burn so bright. Reaching up to the sky. And it's open wide. You're electrified. And the world becomes a fantasy. And you're more than you could ever be. 'Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And you know you can't go back again to the world that you were living in. 'Cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. So come alive, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, living in the shadows now. Come on, come on, come on, come on, shining now. Come alive, come alive. Go and light your light. Let it burn so bright. Reaching up to the sky. And it's open wide. You're electrified. And the world becomes a fantasy. And you're more than you